Hey guys, thanks for joining me again. Just wanted to put together a quick intro video on the customer dashboard, just because it's got a lot of different functions to it. So the way you access a customer dashboard is pull up a customer profile. You can either do that at the top quick search, or the way I got there, through customers and then search for customers. You'll see on the dashboard here we've got a plethora of options, so I wanted to kind of go through each one. First off, the top left panel here, you'll notice it shows the customer name, their registration date, and then whether they're active or disabled or anything like that. That status will show right here where it says active. And if I choose on hold, you'll see I could say I want this person to be on a permanent hold and just hit yes, or I could say I want them on hold until X date, and then I could choose a date that I want to have them taken off hold automatically. And when somebody's on hold, that's going to prevent their recurring order from generating into real orders. So you won't make the deliveries, they won't have orders that you would charge for. It'll retain all their customer information, still allow them to log in and update their account information, update the recurring order. It just won't populate into real orders. If you put a customer on hold until X date, that's going to automatically take them off of hold as of that date, so that their recurring order would start generating and they'd start getting delivery again. You'll also notice that when you put a customer on hold, it's going to remove their future orders. So if they've got an order next week and the week after and the week after already generated from their recurring order, the system will go ahead and remove those that haven't been delivered yet. So that's what happens when you put a customer on hold. You could also cancel a user. So you could, in essence, completely disable their account by clicking cancel user. And that makes it so that when they try to log in, they get a pop-up message that says, hey, it looks like your account's been disabled. You need to call 888, your toll-free number, to get the customer account reinstated. So disabled customers, it's best to put them onto maybe a disabled customer's route or a canceled customer's route, so that they're outside of your existing routes and just kind of organized. So usually when somebody cancels somebody, I would tell them, hey, on top of canceling them, put them onto a canceled customer's route. And you could have as many canceled customer routes as you wanted to. You could have one called canceled in Boulder, or canceled too expensive, or canceled out of area, that type of thing, and really kind of put people into those groups so that you can communicate with them later. You'll see we've got a view location button. That's handy to really figure out where this customer resides within your delivery area. So on our demo site here, I've got Colorado as one big delivery area, and we can see that their pin falls within that. Your install, you're obviously going to have many different KML map shapes, and so you'd be able to see which shape they fall within. Quick graph here on the left, their current balance, and then their total sales. So their current balance is going to include all their future orders. Total sales is through this week, so what their total sales are, with all their deliveries delivered through this week. Personal information, you can easily edit that, any of their personal profile info, contact info, billing address, delivery address, pickup location, all that type of stuff. Their payment method, you guys will change that and update that yourselves. You could put a credit card on file if you had somebody on the phone. We've got the demo site marked as check payment method only. Otherwise, you'd see a drop down where you could choose credit card or e-check, etc. You can require that somebody changes their password on the next login. You could say there's no delivery fee for this customer, don't apply taxes to this customer. Paper invoice just indicates that they never want to receive an electronic email receipt from you guys. They'd rather have a paper email invoice. General news list, that would subscribe them to your general news list where you'd send out weekly, monthly announcements, etc. And then delivery reminders, by default, everybody's set up to 2 days before delivery. So when they create their account, they would start getting delivery reminders 2 days before their delivery. But they can change that, or you guys can change that right here in the back end. And you'll see you can checkbox multiples. So I could have a reminder that goes out the day of, 2 days before, and 3 days before. And then if we scroll back to the top here, some helpful information up top. Assigned routes, Friday, Colorado route. If you're on multiple routes, this will actually be a drop down, so you can see all the different routes that this customer is assigned to. You got their next delivery date, and then their cutoff date, and their last login. So it gives you an idea of their activity. And then down below here, you'll see you've got 3 tabs: Overview, Notes, and Billing. If we go into notes, we're going to be looking at different notes capabilities that you've got per customer here. Billing, you're going to have a breakdown of all the line items that have ever happened on their account, whether that's an order or a delivery charge or a deposit charge or a credit, anything like that to do with a customer's balance, you can do under this billing screen here. And we'll get back to that in just a second. If I click overview here, this is where we would edit this customer's orders. So by default, when you click overview, you're always looking at the current order. So that would be this week's order, Friday, December 2nd. You'll see this customer doesn't have an order, no order found for the current week. If I go to upcoming orders, this gives us a quick view of all of their upcoming Fridays if they're on a Friday route, or Thursdays if they're on a Thursday route. And this is just a setting. Your install may be showing 6 upcoming deliveries. Out of the box, it's 4. And that's a variable that we can change. Recurring items tab, this would show all the items they have on a recurring schedule. And then order history, this would be a list of all their different orders that you could go into and edit in the past. So if we go back to current order here, there's a couple different ways that you can add products. So keep in mind we're dealing with this week. You'll see down below here, we've got a list of this customer's most popular products. So the system has looked at their order history and it knows that their most popular product is the big fruit and veggie box, then it's fat-free milk, almonds, etc. So we know this customer doesn't have an order this week. We could simply start adding to this week based on their most popular products. So if you're on the phone with a customer and you notice they don't have an order this week, you can say, hey, it looks like you don't have your fat-free milk this week. Would you like me to add that? And then you could literally just click add to this week. And boom, we've now got fat-free milk in this week's order. That's one way to add to this week's or next week's order. You could also do a quick SKU search or product description search. So I could say almond, and it matches the almonds. And I could choose almond, puts my cursor in the quantity field. I could say 3, and then add. And that adds our almonds immediately to this week's order. You could also click Browse Products. That brings up more of a category-based menu style. So we're looking at barn burner specials. We could go into produce boxes, meal kits, etc. You can also search up here. So if I check box fruit and veggie variety, and then go into meal kits and say the Capri salad, and then local fruits, and I say Bartlett pears and cranberries, you could change your quantities here as well. And then you add to order. That's all going to add to December 2nd. You'll see I also have the opportunity to add this as a one-time to any of my upcoming orders as well. So if I hit save and review, adds all those items and we're set to go. You'll see you could edit quantities. You can override pricing as an admin. You can remove items. So if for this particular week I want to give them almonds at $2.50, you can just override it for this particular week and then hit save. Because this is a parent product with subproducts in it, we've got customized capability. So as an admin, I could increase and decrease my quantities and get everything kind of set the way I wanted to for that customer on their behalf. So now we've created an order for this particular week. If I go into upcoming orders, you'll see that that's populated. We still have no delivery scheduled in the future. I don't have any recurring items still. So let's say that this customer wanted a recurring item. You would click into recurring items, and then again, you can either enter a SKU or a product title. So I'll say cherry tomatoes amount every week, every other week, once per month, whatever your frequency is. When do you want to start it? Well, let's say I want to start this Friday the 11th. And then I add that, and that's now in my recurring items queue. So that would generate for this customer every week until they come in and make a change to this product or remove it, etc. So if I go to upcoming orders here, now you'll see we've got our cherry tomatoes starting the 2nd and rotating every week through, and that will be true every time I log in. I'll see the next 4 weeks populated with cherry tomatoes. You've also got some different actions that you can take for upcoming orders. So for example, if I'm in this particular order, I could go to the actions drop down and I could print a bag label for just this particular delivery, or I could skip just this particular delivery, or I could print an invoice, or I could clear this particular order. So a lot of things you can do when you're looking at one particular order. You'll see in this drop down I could choose any of my upcoming deliveries to go into. So if I want to pop into December 23rd, I could edit just that particular order. Recurring items, if I remove this, that's going to remove it from all of our upcoming deliveries. So I don't have to go in, per delivery and remove that. If I go into upcoming orders, now it's been removed from all of my upcoming deliveries. Order history, again, this is just a way to go into all of your past orders. So we've got our Friday, November 25th, or November 18th, or November 11th. So if I need to go back to this customer's November 11th order and edit something or remove an item that they didn't actually receive, I could do that. So let's kind of move on here to the Notes tab. The Notes tab is going to give admins kind of a quick snapshot of what's been happening with this customer. So there's several different types of notes that you can add. You can have a detailed note, and this would actually track who entered that note, what day and time. You can set a follow-up date. So for example, call with Becca about spoiled milk. We chatted for 30 minutes about weather and spoiled milk, and she would like a credit for $2. And then if there was some type of follow-up you needed to make, like let's say you wanted to follow up with Becca a week from now and just say, hey, wanted to make sure you saw you got your credit and make sure your milk this week wasn't spoiled, you could set a follow-up date in here, and then you can search those notes later based on follow-up date. I'm not going to set one now. We could show this note on the dashboard view of the customer. So I'm gonna checkbox that and then create note. So we've now got the ability to look at the notes here on the left for this customer because I added a detailed note. We could add another new note. We could search notes, etc. We could go into recurring note, and this would be more of a note that all admins would see. So watch this customer. They call every week and try to get a credit. We'll save that recurring note. And now that'll be in there forever until we change it. So as I go into latest notes here, you'll see that that note that I added regarding Becca on November 29th shows up automatically here, and those would keep stacking as we add them. If I go to recurring note, this will show admins any recurring note that you've got for this particular customer. Driver note, this is obviously a note for the driver. So loud dog in alleyway, code to side door is 6789. Make sure you leave it in the cooler. So that would show up on driver route sheets or in our driver app, the Android app that you can download for particularly the driver. And that's actually a setting we could turn on for customers if you'd like, where customers would see their driver note and they could change their driver note at will. So that's kind of the lowdown on notes. You could search notes based on follow-up date, based on keyword, all sorts of different things. And then if we get into the billing tab here, you'll see this is where we can see the history of this customer, all the future charges, delivery charges, deposit charges if you've got them, adjustments, credits, credit card payments, anything like that is going to automatically show up in here. So the system generated these line items for the orders and the delivery charges. That being said, if I need to issue this customer credit, they have cracked eggs or spoiled milk, I could say check number blank. I could just leave it blank if I want to, but I'll probably put the word credit in there. Amount $12. Notes, credit for spoiled produce. I can't type today. Sorry about that. And then I would mark it as type credit. And then if we submit that, you'll see it shows up in here as a credit, and it's affected the balance that they owe us. So you can also delete line items in here. So if I wanted to go ahead and say, well, gosh, this order wasn't actually delivered, I could checkbox that and then delete the selected item. Or if I accidentally entered a credit, I could checkbox that and delete the selected item. If you need to enter a check payment, obviously you can put the check number in here, the amount, a note, and then the type would just be order payment. And you could submit that. You could also checkbox a specific invoice or charge that you want to pay. So I could say pay specific invoices after I've checkboxed the pay column here, which ones I wanted to pay. But typically you'll just submit the payment or credit, and that goes against their outstanding balance. So keep in mind our billing is all based on their balance. So if you issue a credit here, that immediately affects electronic billing. If I go to search and bill Becca, she's going to owe me $12 less than she did because I gave her that credit. Beyond that, I think that really when you go down here to the assigned routes panel, it's pretty obvious you're going to be able to modify a customer's route, assign them to a new route. So I could move route, say move this from one route to another, remove from this route, move them to this route, save, cancel, etc. We could assign to an additional route. So we could click add new route down here and put them on a brand new route in addition to the one that they're on. We could temporarily change it for just their next delivery only. So then it would switch back after that delivery to their original route. So a few different ways that you can change a customer's route. Typically, if you're literally wanting to change them from a Tuesday delivery to a Thursday delivery, you're going to choose move from one route to another. So move route here. I'm sorry, modify route. Oops, there we go, move route. So remove from X route and then move to the new route. That'll actually move their recurring order as well as their future orders that haven't been delivered to that new route. If you choose to just assign them, so add new route, that'll leave them on the old route and it'll leave their recurring order and all their future orders where they were. And the new route would be a new route that they could then add new orders to. So something to be aware of. You can also set vacation dates just like the customers can. So I could say I'm going to be out of town the 9th through the 30th and then add that vacation just like they can on the front end. And you can add multiple vacations. So I could add this one and I could add another one. You can look at the log and see start and end time, who set the vacation, those types of things. So hopefully that gave you a better overview of what the customer dashboard is capable of. One other thing I forgot to mention is this login as the customer. This gives you a nice pop-up where I could click this link and be logged into the customer front end without knowing what their password is. And so that's handy to kind of see what they're seeing, experience the site as they would. And if you've got a test customer set up, that's a great way to log in as a test customer. Looking forward to the next video. We're going to cover the main admin dashboard. Thanks for joining.